Oh yeah, there we are. Here we
There it
go.
goes.
Hey,
Hell
we got.
yeah.
What's up, man?
Welcome to the podcast, brother.
Welcome. You
Hell
seem
yeah.
very stoked and excited, man. Very stoked and
Yeah.
excited. My first
I am too.
podcast. Yeah,
This your first podcast?
yeah. This is my first podcast. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I'm
Awesome.
pretty. Yeah, yeah. Awesome.
Well, let me go over a couple things that may happen. So when we first start a
Uh,
call, this happens quite often. It depends on uh, people's service, cell service or internet or whatever, or it's Discord. It happens almost all of the podcasts I do.
yeah,
There'll be some lag. Uh, so if it starts doing that where you can't hear me or whatever, and I'm talking, if it
yeah.
goes like that for like 5 seconds or something, just tap your head like I can't hear. Tap your ear like I can't hear you.
Right.
Uh,
Like I can't. Yeah. All right.
yeah. Now
Good.
sometimes that doesn't work because the video locks up as well sometimes. So
Yeah.
if that happens, we just sit here and wait, and it's not a big deal. It's happened a bunch of times, and I'll edit those out.
All right.
So that the at least the conversation sounds pretty smooth on when
Yeah.
someone's listening to it.
Yeah. I
So
understand. I understand that. We're in like way separate fucking countries, so it's understandable.
yeah, yeah. The one I did last week with Chris, who's in the Netherlands, he
Yeah.
it was probably the worst one or one of the worst ones we had, where about every 5 minutes it would cut
Yeah.
out for about a full minute, our video
Ooh.
and audio. So we would just sit there after like the second time. We were like, okay, let's just wait. So we wait
Yeah.
and wait and wait, and it finally caught up, and then we just continued talking.
All
But
right.
yeah, so that's a common thing. So no big deal. If it goes on, if it lasts more than a couple minutes, we'll stop it and then restart the call
All right.
and pick up where we left off.
All right. No, it's good, man. Sounds good.
Yeah. So it's pretty relaxed. We'll just adapt and make it work.
All right. Sounds good, man. Sounds good.
Hell yeah. So
All
man,
right.
I was excited to talk to you because I was looking through your Instagram,
Yeah.
and you do a lot of training videos on there, like short
Yeah.
training
Yeah.
videos.
That's true. That's true. Yeah. Yeah. I like doing it, man. It's
You're
like
pretty
something.
fucking good.
Yeah, because I almost do it every single day now. So
Good.
yeah.
You're really good with transitioning. I saw the ones I was watching yesterday, and then this morning you have where you'll transition from your rifle to your pistol
Yeah.
and
And I
and reloads in between.
yeah, yeah,
And
and
I was
try
like,
to meet people.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, man.
that is cool. So what? How you've been playing airsoft for a while?
Yeah, for 6 years now, almost
Okay.
7 now.
How did that begin?
How did that begin? Well, the thing is, I always wanted to join the army, the military,
Yep.
but I have like mental problems. I'm
Mm,
autistic for a point in my brain, so they didn't want to let me into the army. So yeah, I had to search for something that was close enough, to get that thing going. Because my dad was in the army, my uncle was in the army. It's kind of like a family thing. I
yeah.
grew up around guns, so for me, yeah, shooting guns and then going with my dad to the shooting range and shooting stuff, it was always fun. And then I saw YouTube and I saw like these dudes shooting with fucking guns that almost looked like realistic as a real gun. I saw these dudes shooting at each other on an airsoft field and I was like, dude, this is awesome. I can officially now shoot people without going to jail. So yeah, fuck awesome. Like, yeah.
Oh
I
yeah.
was that's awesome. So I straight up went towards my dad. I was like, yo, I want an airsoft gun. I want to shoot with it. And then I bought one with my dad and started shooting it at home. And then a little later back in time, like the first year going past with airsoft guns, I got my plate carrier and my helmet, all my first gear setups. And then I know in a field that was in my country. Now it's moved, but first it was in the state, like where I lived in.
Yeah.
And it was just small. It wasn't too big. It was just small, but it was really fun. And that was the first time when I really went to go airsoft against other people. Dude, I had a blast, and then the first time I just had so much fun. I just immediately like I got sold towards it. I was like, this is the stuff I need to do. I
Awesome.
think something's good for me. Because like I think every person in this world needs to find something that they really do where they can like release their stress. And for me,
Absolutely.
airsoft, shooting at home or playing with some friends, it's for me stress relieving. So that's kind of
Yeah.
what got me into the airsoft, yeah. And
This is
just the gun,
mine. Cheers to you.
yeah. Yeah, man, like oh, airsoft, yeah, it's been a hell of a fun for me, man. Like I still want to keep on doing it. I want to expand it. Like I kind of want to do my own thing. Like maybe in the future, if I can make enough money from my own things, like start my own field, because I really want to
Hmm.
have my own field and give a lot of different events and that kind of stuff. So I'm really focused towards the future of airsoft and just seeing how much it's just expanding over the couple of years. It's just amazed me. Like so many people are joining in now, and it's crazy, man. I love it in a way.
Yeah. That's really cool. Now, do you live in you're in Belgium, right?
Yeah, Belgium, Europe. Yeah, that's next to the
Okay.
country of the Netherlands. Yeah,
Okay, I thought so. Yeah, because I was looking up the map to see
yeah.
where the
Really
time zone
small,
was.
man. Really small. Belgium is really small.
Yeah, I had to zoom in. I'm like, where the fuck is this? I don't know geography, so I'm like,
Yeah.
it's searching around on it, and then I saw it was in the same line or time zone as the Netherlands. I was like, oh, okay, like 6 hour difference. So no big deal. But are you guys able to own guns, like real guns, or is it
We
kind of
are
like the U?
own
Okay,
real guns here in Belgium, but the big issue here is you got to do a lot of paperwork and you got to pay a lot of money for it. Like here in Belgium, you can pretty much own everything, but you have to pay for it, so to say, extra.
gotcha.
And just as, like if you're turning 18 and from 18 years old, you can just buy an airsoft gun in the airsoft shop without any paperwork or nothing. You can just buy it freely. And for me, I do want to shoot real guns, but like the amount of paperwork I have to do just to get a rifle or a pistol on my position, in my position is like, nah, it's not worth it. And that's why I kind of stepped over to airsoft because I can pretty much throw all the Gucci shit that I can throw on real guns. I can throw it on airsoft guns and make it look as real as possible. So yeah, it's just for me, it's just not worth it in this country. If I would ever like move towards the states, what my big dream is, because I really want to move towards Texas or that kind of stuff, because I just love.
Nice.
I'm like a big gun fan. Like
Yeah.
I love the fucking shit in Texas. Like it's crazy how much gun and how simply you can own a gun there. It's just fascinating for me. It's like
Hell
insane.
yeah.
So yeah,
It's
and
like
that's
that here
kind of
where I
what.
live as well, South Carolina. It's
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
I heard about that. South Carolina, Texas. What's the other state that's called?
Florida.
Fuck. Yeah, Florida. Yeah,
Yeah.
those kind of countries. Yeah, it's amazing how easy you can buy guns. It's just impressive. Like it fascinates me. It's like wow, so
Yeah,
simple, so easy.
most of the states in America are pretty open with guns.
Yeah,
There's only a
yeah, it's,
handful, like a few of them that are really strict, you
yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah.
but like
Yeah,
California
if
and
it's
stuff.
like a full automatic rifle or something like that, then it goes with
Yeah.
strictly paperwork and stuff. Yeah, I know about that. Because, like,
Hmm.
I like to watch a lot of videos of T-Rex Arms and Milspec Mojo.
Yes, right.
Those are kind of the guys I look up to, because they give a lot of good instructions on training and shooting with guns and gear and that kind of stuff. So that's what so I take the basics of what they do and I turn it in for me, what works for me for airsoft. So a couple of things is like in the real world, in the gun world, you're not going to be as much as aggressive playing or shooting as in the airsoft world. Because airsoft world, it's all about aggressive shooting, aggressive gameplay. So
Right.
you got to be more in that aggressive version of playing than while being in the real gun world. You're in the gun world. You're gonna be like more like defensive. You're gonna be more protective of yourself because you're shooting with real bullets and you can die literally by one shot. So you're gonna be more
Right.
protective. And with
Yeah,
airsoft, you're
it's way
like
slower.
it, it's like, oh, just going for it,
Rush the enemy. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
the difference too is like video games, like playing Call of Duty or Halo or playing I don't know if you ever heard of this game called Arma 3
yeah,
or
squad or
Arma
those,
2. It's
yeah,
like
or
a
like
realistic,
Tarkov, yeah,
right, or
yeah,
Tarkov, exactly. So
it's
you
Tarkov,
yeah, especially like Arma, you have it's a huge map, and you have to it's like, pretty much everything is like a simulation, like a real
yeah,
military simulation. So if you're on foot, there's no fast travel in the game. Like everything
oh,
is real.
no,
You got to run 20 minutes to get to wherever,
yeah,
or catch a Humvee or something. But if you get
yeah,
shot, you get wounded, and then,
yeah,
starting
yeah,
over is,
yep,
yeah. So Tarkov, same way, and I think there's a lot of attraction for those games right now because I think a lot, some people are getting kind of burned out on those short, maps and fast play
yeah,
of like Call of Duty and stuff.
yeah.
There's still a lot of Call of Duty players and Halo players, but I think a lot of people are,
Always will be.
yeah. But yeah, that's the difference between like paintball or airsoft and then real life. You can rush the enemy in paintball and airsoft, but in real life, man, it's very slow moving.
Yeah, true. That's what I'm trying to explain,
Hmm.
and
Yeah,
and that's true. Because like in real life, you're not gonna go Rambo towards an enemy and start
no,
shooting,
right,
But pretty much for you, a death sentence, still, so to say.
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
and
you had a family of military, and then you got into
yeah,
airsoft because you grew up around
yeah,
guns and that kind of
yep,
thing. So that's pretty cool. Were you gonna ask
yep,
something?
yeah. The thing I wanted to ask is actually in the States. Is it freely to like what is the mental state you have to join into the army? Like, what mental state do you have to be in?
Uh, I'm not sure. Um, when I went in the Marines back in 1989,
Oh,
and
really?
yeah, so I was in the Marine Corps for 4 years, from '89 to '93, and I if I look back on it, I probably wasn't in the best mental state. But they gave us tests, so you do have to take like a psychology or whatever, a
Yeah.
psych test or whatever.
Yeah.
Uh, I don't think they were as strict back then because me and some other crazy dudes got in. So I don't. But as far as like the restrictions, I'm not really sure how they gauge that. Um,
Right.
I think the big thing is probably like if you don't have, or if you have like a previous like something official where you went to like a mental hospital for a certain amount of time before you
Yeah.
go in, that they might look at that on your record and go, oh, okay, because like if you have a record, like a police record or whatever, they'll look at
Yeah,
uh
that's the scene here. Yeah.
yeah, right. So they'll and they're way more strict now than they used to be. When I was going in, they were actually like there were still judges in different states that were
Yeah.
making guy like that was their punishment was you either go to jail or you go in the military. And
Yeah.
so they were still doing. I served with a few guys that's how they ended up in the Marines. Was that they kept getting in trouble and the judge was like, "Getting your ass in the military."
Yeah.
They don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny because I'm like, we always laughed about it because they're like, bro, they sent us to the Marine Corps and like we're doing crazier shit than what I was doing out there, like
Yeah.
partying and going, doing all kind of crazy stuff. But yeah, so they're way more strict now. I know, like 6 years ago, 5 years ago, my daughter went into the Air Force, and it was a pretty strict. They had a lot of restrictions for
Yeah.
people to go in. So she went in, spent 4 years in, but she had a lot of tests to go through and a lot of background check stuff that they didn't do with me.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
So
yeah,
they
as far
got,
as the mental thing, I'm not
but
sure how that works.
the same here with pretty much Belgium. Now they're like really strict. Like now you have to be like almost like 90 to 100% like
Hmm.
functional for to be in the army. So yeah, but I think if you see what's happening now to the world, I don't think it's gonna take long before they need more. people
Yep.
to join, and even from younger ages, you know.
Right.
So yeah.
Yeah. War will change that for sure.
Yeah, man, it changes every time. It changes the whole perspective of fucking the military world, you know.
Yeah.
Like the
Definitely.
moment war breaks loose, like they need everybody. It doesn't matter if you're old, young, they just need everybody, you know.
Yep.
Because like
Now.
that was did like when I went for my test and they told me like if I said like you don't need me now, you say you don't need me now, but when all war breaks out, then it's probably you're gonna come towards me and ask me if I still want to join until the military. And she literally said in my face like yeah, that's probably how it's gonna work. And I was
Yep.
like, it's so dumb, you know, like you don't want to let me in now, but when the world all goes to shit, you need me, you know, you need
Yeah.
this crazy ass, you know. Like, oh yeah, it's so stupid from time to time, man. It's like I
It
don't know,
is.
something that I think they need to change and reconsider. Because I find
Yeah.
like he just give the people a chance. Because like if they prove themselves that they're doing it good, then just keep them in the army. But if you see if you're just fucking it up or getting more in a worse condition, then you can always like say like, hey, it's not working for you. You got to stop here, you know. And I think everybody needs to get that chance to be in the army if you really want to give it a chance to be in the army, you know. And I think it's good for the like a lot of the people now because like if you see some people on this planet, you're literally like, what the fuck, like. Just put this kid in fucking a year in the army because like he way too messed up, you know. Like
Exactly.
some oh man, I'm like shit. You need the fucking year army to fucking reconsider things, you know.
Oh yeah. I think
Yeah,
that's why. I think that's why airsoft is so good too because these when these guys go to these mil sims, they're
yeah.
uh, they're doing like
It's
they'll
similar.
start getting into it in a young age, and they're going
True,
like getting
true.
kind of like some. I mean, it's not like going to boot camp, but it's still they're getting exposed to that kind of training. Like, oh, how much work it takes to run up this hill with all this gear on,
Yeah, yeah.
shit
With
like that.
like your tent, everything, and then
Right.
you have to like stay awake. One fucking like if you're crashing somewhere in a place, you know, one guy has to stay awake and keep a lookout because you're like your enemy camp can be ambushed by dudes with fucking MVGs. You know, it's like you don't know that. Like
Uh huh.
that's the cool thing about Milsim is like it really puts you in the situation of seeing like what could happen. Well, like what's it like in the military world, you know? And I think
Right.
it's a great experience for people to do that because like you have to use radio communications, you have to use secret codes so the enemy don't fucking get your radio communications,
Mm-hmm.
you know? Because in the Milsim you can all use those techniques and that kind of stuff because it really teaches you some kind of stuff like maybe you could use into a real life situation.
Right.
And that's what I find nice about Milson, man. Like it's really inspiring something like that. Like I think it's something really good that they're doing here in Belgium and Europe and that kind of stuff. It's not really that big yet, but
Mm.
if I like see those fucking videos from American Milsim and Milsim West and those kind of videos from in the States, I'm like, wow, you know? It's like I wanna do something like that. That's just fucking awesome, you know?
Tanks, helicopters, Humvees.
Yeah, dude, like one of those helicopter rides where you can shoot with your airsoft gun fucking out a helicopter. How fucking awesome is that, man? It's insane, crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like those events, and I think it's very inspiring for the younger people also to like maybe give it a chance to go to the army, or like if they want to like go to the army, that they do that as a first experience to know what it's kind of like to be in the army.
Yeah.
So I think Milsim is something great, man. Yeah, I find it awesome.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah,
I think there's a benefit for all these different types. Like there's there's mil sims. That's like the like Milsim West or whatever. Some of these that are like continuous for 3 days. It's like real life. And then you have like speedball or
yeah,
that's
speed,
paintball,
yeah,
speedsoft.
speed,
Yeah,
yeah,
things like that. I know it's the different end of the spectrum, but it's still beneficial as far as weapon handling, like learning
yeah.
these basics. Right? They have to learn on the fly. They got to
Cover it.
adjust. Yeah, be really
The
quick.
Yeah, that's the funny thing. Actually, is my first beginning of my airsoft career. I actually came from the speedsoft world because that was actually it's weird to say this, but the first dudes that took my eye on YouTube were the guys from SYG. Probably you know them, the S
I've heard
Gang.
of it. Oh
Back
yeah,
in the day, it was only like Maggot, Sapo, and all those kind of guys. So the real beginners of the SYG. And when I saw him like running through the fucking Speakeasy hallway and killing like 7, 8 people in one run, that was like, whoa, that's awesome. I need to try that, you know. And so when I played towards my field, I would just try the same thing, just be aggressive as possible, and just go like, shoot as much people like I can, and just in one run. But since I got older, I got more into that military stuff and watching more milsim videos and that kind of stuff. And that got me more into the military simulation way. Also,
right.
because I started doing more like reloads at home and that kind of stuff to give people more tips and advices on how to play better at an airsoft field, like if you're a beginner airsofter. So, and that's kind of what I really want to do with my career is actually just give good advice, good tips on what to buy as a first airsoft gun or that kind of stuff. Really inspire the new gun community, the airsoft gun community, on how to play better on an airsoft field for playing against more experienced players. Because it's not always fun to be the newbie in the airsoft field and then want to play and then just get annihilated by fucking experienced players. It's
Yeah,
never fun because you don't know what you're doing. Actually, you're just getting the gun, you're putting on gear, and you're just like, okay, I'm on the field. What the fuck am I doing here? That's pretty much that's how it began with me. That's how it started with me. Like I wanted to do it, but the moment I was on the field, I was like, okay, what I'm gonna do now? I'm just gonna move towards there, and then
yeah,
fucking just 5 seconds later, I get shot.
yeah. Find
I
some
was like,
cover.
yeah, that's the thing. Like, that's what I'm trying to teach now people is how do you peek from a corner? How do you can you manipulate that corner from peeking, like those kind of stuff? Because like a lot of guys, when you're peeking a corner from around the wall, a lot of guys are focused at that one spot that you're peeking from, so their
Yep.
attention is pretty much going to be 90 to 95% at that same spot. So what I try to teach people then is try to like manipulate him until he's going to stay in that same angle. Because if he's staying in the upper angle while you're peeking twice or a third time at the same higher angle, he's going to look at that angle and he's going to stay focused on that because he's going to be like, the moment he sticks his head out, I'm going to shoot him.
Yeah.
And that's going to happen. So what you do then is like, I would say to people, like, take a knee, go to a lower position, and then because you already peeked 3 times, you know exactly where he is. So you can do sort of like a wall hack. Put yourself in that aiming position from behind the wall where that dude is going to be, and then just peek the corner and take the shot because you already know roughly where he's at. So then you're just going to take the peek, maybe a couple of millimeters. You have to pull the dot left, up or down, and then just take that shot. And then he's going to be like, oh, he shot me from the lower deck because he was so focused on staying on the higher ground, shooting from the higher up. And those are the things I like to tell people because, like, it really works in the airsoft industry because I use it myself, those kind of
Sure.
techniques.
Oh yeah.
And it's the same with the last video that I made with the rifle to pistol draw because I see a lot of people on the field when they drop their rifle and then grab their pistol, while you have two hands and you can easily drop the rifle with one hand and with the other hand you can already grab your pistol at the same time.
Right.
So the moment your rifle is dropped, you can already grab your pistol and your pistol is up. That's way faster than you drop your rifle and then grabbing your pistol because in that half a second somebody can come around the corner and shoot you.
Yep.
And unless you drop the rifle and you get the pistol up and you get that straight up, you don't have that half a second anymore, you know? So
Right.
you're faster up, so you're ready to shoot that guy. And those kind of tips I really like to give people so they play better at fields, and get more experienced tips and to play like and have more fun on the field. I want them to have more
Absolutely.
fun. Yeah, man.
Yeah. More fun is not spending all your time in the respawn. Now I remember
Yeah,
when I
exactly.
was editing, I started editing these guys. You know, two of my sons are on our YouTube channel, and
Yeah,
one of their good friends, JP. When I started editing their gameplay videos, all three of them would have GoPros on their helmet or
yeah,
on the guns, whatever. And I'm watching this stuff because I'm editing,
yeah,
and they're like all behind. All three of them would be behind like the same wall, and they're
yeah.
all peeking their heads up in the same area. And I'm like, bro, what the fuck? Are
That's
like
what
you
it is.
can't be that dumb. Like, oh, I got
That's
shot. Well, duh.
yeah,
So
what
I
I'm
was like,
saying.
so I'm trying to teach them, like, look, can you come here and look at this video? I'd show them on here. I'm like, watch, see what you're doing right there? You know, kind of like you do when on a football team, you know, where the coach goes over, you know, all the film and watches the
Yeah,
plays from the previous game. Like, hey, don't do this because
yeah,
it's a mistake. So I'd show them, like, look, you all should, first of all, you shouldn't be all together like that. One grenade's going to take all you out.
yep.
So you need to spread out. But I'm like, don't pick your head up in the same spot. Like, Johnny, put your head up. You know, if you put your head up here twice, go on the side of the wall because it was only like a 4 foot wall. You
Yeah.
know,
You
put your
grab
head
the
on the
side,
side of the wall and then
you
start
get switched.
shooting. Yeah, it's just like you do in Call of Duty or a video game. Like you don't stand there and keep going in the same spot. You're gonna get
Yeah, exactly,
you're gonna get
because the
sniped
dude on the side that's camping is going to take you out.
for
Same
real.
with community. So
I
yeah,
saw your
that's
video on. I just saw the video actually, the one you're talking about, where you showed about peeking out up here and then kneeling down and then maybe laying down.
yeah,
You know, or going from a lower spot.
yeah,
And I I saw the one where you transition and stuff. But yeah, that's probably a really common thing that
yep.
these guys get shot from because they all clump up behind one wall and then they start peeking out and peeking out and peeking out. And like, bro, y'all would be
And that,
dead if you're in the military. Okay.
and that's the thing. Like in the airsoft industry, also, what I really know is like a lot of people talk about what guns you need to buy, what you need to buy for gear, equipment, and vests and that kind of stuff. But nobody actually talks about the techniques you can use. And that's why I'm have my airsoft Instagram account. Is just I want to talk about the techniques and I want to teach you about the techniques that you can use in your benefits and create them towards your own way, so you can use them in your own benefits.
Right.
Like every person is different, so everybody trains different. It's like if I could explain, if I like drop my rifle, a lot of people would drop it towards the front. If I like stow my rifle, I would flip it half upside down and I would stow it towards my side. So it would be at the side of me. So my front would be still open. And for me, that's easier to like control everything in the front because my weapons are at the side. It's the same like with the pistol because your pistol is always at the side too, because you want the front to be accessible for if you need a grenade or something else. And that's the kind of things like people train differently on because like other people like to drop their weapon in front of them because they don't like to slide this, because they slap a little bit too much with the rifle when it's on the side, so they like to drop it. But the reason why I don't like to drop my rifle in front of me is because in the beginning 2 years of airsoft, I had a moment where I was like in a position and my rifle was empty because I play with gas blowback rifles, so I only have
Okay.
like 30 shots and then my rifle is empty.
Yeah.
And I was like shooting and my rifle was empty, so I dropped my rifle at the front because I wanted to be fast. And then I grabbed my pistol and I was standing behind a wall, so I grabbed my pistol and I like peeked the wall and I shot the dude, but I missed him and then he shot back at me, so I were going back towards the wall, and then I wanted to take a kneel. But the moment I took that kneel, because my gun was like in the middle, my barrel stuck into the ground, and my like buttstock just hit me so bad in the cheek, man,
Yeah, I was
like
just gonna
so
say, probably hit
bad.
your face.
Yeah, it like hit me so bad in the cheek. I was like, oh my god! I almost bit my tongue off at the same times. And that was the time I really learned, like, yeah, this is not safe. This is not working for me. Like if you really go fast down on a knee and your gun gets like stuck up into the ground, dude, it's going nowhere. It's just going straight up into the chin. And I was like, nah, that ain't working for me. And that's the time I started putting my rifle towards the side so I can take a knee and my rifle isn't here anymore, so I can don't have any stocks up my chin, you
Right.
know. So yeah, man, those are the kind of small tips I kind of want to teach people, like to prevent those fucking things.
Now, is that how you started doing the training videos on your Instagram? Is like just from starting airsoft and then seeing kind of like some of these issues that you saw and then
Yeah,
experiencing some yourself?
exactly. Yeah, and then
Okay.
started a lot by seeing a lot of videos like TRX Arms, Milspec Mojo, Garen Tomp, all those crazy gun guys that give a lot of gun instructions. Ronin Tactics, all these
Right.
gun guys. And I watched a lot of those videos, and because I use a gas blowback rifle, it's pretty much the same working as a real AR-15. You know, because like if when you're shooting and your gun is empty, your bolt is gonna lock back, so it's not working like a real AR-15. So you have to strip the magazine, get the magazine back up, press the bolt release, then the bolt will send back forward. It works almost as a real AR-15. That's
Right.
why I like using them. And when I see those videos, I'm like, hey, I can do those kind of things because I have a gas blowback rifle, so I can train myself on it. And it's just good for me to know the basics. Like you never know when you come in a situation in the world in the situation where
Right.
you have to pick up somebody's gun and to save a lot of other people, you know. And if you just
Mm-hmm.
have those basic skills to manipulate a weapon, you kind of can do that. Then you know
Right.
you can make the choice of I'm going to pick up this rifle and try to keep the people safe, and I'm going to fight for it, you know. And that's just what it's very good that you know the basics, because if you don't know the basics and you're going to pick up the gun, you're pretty much going to kill the people that you're trying to protect, you know, if you don't know the basics. And that's why I like to train with my airsoft guns, is that I know all the basics about safety, trigger control, all those kind of small things, you know. And when you learn those things, you're ready to go a step further. Like if you want to then go for real guns, you already know the basics, so you're not going to make those problems in the beginning of training real guns. So you're going to be more safe towards training real weapons. And I got a couple of friends now too that started training like me, like I've been doing, because like they find it so awesome when I'm reloading it so fast. Like, man, you're so fast, like, oh.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
it's
when I
like, yeah,
started watching the videos on your on your Instagram page, I was like, okay, he's definitely been. You can tell when somebody's had some practice, and just like doing it
yeah,
consistently, repetition and stuff. And there's a handful of guys I've talked to on here on our podcast in the
yeah,
last month or whatever that do that. And a couple guys have YouTube channels that train that do those kind of tactic
yeah,
trainings. And yeah, it's really good to know. Like I can
yeah.
shoot a pistol, but as far as like drawing and reloading and all that, like I haven't had a lot of practice with that kind of stuff or switching from rifle to pistol. So when I
Yeah.
saw your stuff, I like watching that kind of stuff too because that's something I want to get good at. And
Yeah.
so I appreciate you guys doing these training videos because it really helps, man. Like, and then even your last one, you're like, okay, I'm gonna do two of these where I'm gonna I forget what kind of transition you were doing, but it was you start with your rifle, you're gonna fire one
Hey,
shot,
one round, then switch to your
then
pistol.
switch.
One round, then reload the pistol.
Yep.
Stow the pistol back, switch to the rifle, and then reload the rifle. Take another shot.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you were like, I'm gonna do that twice, but you ended up doing it like 5 times because you didn't like it. You were like, nope, I'm gonna do it again. And I
Yeah.
thought,
Like
man, that is
even
that it's really cool that you're putting it on, you're keeping that in the video instead of just like making
of
yourself look
course,
good. Like you're showing the
that's the
work
thing.
that you're doing, you know?
That's the thing that I want to do, is like I want to show the people, even if you're someone that people like already are looking up to, we still make mistakes too. We are
Right.
just human, like every other human being in this world, you know? Like I came from a fucking shitty ass place where I couldn't do all this stuff. And I just want to show the people, like, even when I'm doing fast videos, I still fuck up at sometimes. Because, like, some videos you can hear me saying, like, oh, fucked up. I don't like this one. Let's do it
Yep.
one more time, you
Do it
know?
one more
I
time.
just
Yeah.
want to. I just want to show the people, like, it's okay to fuck up, because that's the moment where you
That's how
learn
you
you push
learn.
yourself to go faster. And the
Yep.
moment you're actually pushing yourself to go faster, that's where you're actually learning. And because like most of the people, like they train till they get it right, you know. That's something I learned from Chris Costa. It's and that's been staying in my mind forever, like the days of Macpool Industries. I don't know
Mm.
if you the
Yep.
starting of Macpool Industries with Travis Haley, Chris Costa, and all those kind of guys. And it got me to a certain point where Chris Costa said, like, normal people train until they get it right, professionals train until they get it wrong, you know. And that's something that got stuck in my mind, is like,
Yeah.
because that's really like the truth. Like most people train until they get it right, and when they get it right, they're like, oh yeah, I got it, I'm done for today, you know. But no, that's not how you do it, because like if you do it at that, you get a certain point where you're like, confident with yourself, but you're not really pushing your limit. And if you're training till you get it wrong, you're actually constantly pushing the limit where you learn to accept from these are the kind of mistakes and the hangups that I still fuck up every time, you know? Because, like, it can go from different things, from trigger pull to holding your pistol in a good grip while drawing the pistol. You know, it's all those kind of small things. Why also I record myself is so I can watch myself and see what
Right.
I'm doing wrong. You
Mm-hmm.
know, just like you mentioned earlier, like if you're looking at your son's videos and that kind of stuff, you see what they're doing wrong. And that's what I'm doing with my videos. That's why I like to video myself. And it's just, yeah, man, like people really gotta like start learning more and pushing themselves more to the limit. Because like if I can teach you something for your pistol draws, there's like a app on your phone that you can download, and it's like a shot timer for your app for Airsoft, and it's like the AIPS shot timer, something like that you can
I
have on
think I,
your phone,
yeah.
and it records the shot timings that you do on your phone, and you can like put it like if you're shooting outside, you can put the echo up. If you're shooting inside, you can put the echo down, so you can shoot pretty much anywhere you want to shoot, from in home or outdoors if you want to train. And it's actually a really good app to like get those reps started in. Like if you're drawing, you want to really consistently draw fast, have a good grip, get your pistol fast on the sights or on the red dot sights, and then take that shot, you know? And with a shot timer, that split second you always do with drawing your pistol with the timer every time, you can see on the timer how many split seconds you've wasted up. And after seeing you how many like different timings there are, then you can start learning on what you did wrong. So you're more focusing on what went wrong here on this time. Why was my time like slower than the earlier one that I did? Like where
Right.
did I went wrong? You know, and that's the point where you really start to focus. And then the moment you find out what that problem is, you start a little bit more to focus on that problem and to solve that problem. And the moment you solve that problem, you know, like, okay, this is something I need to focus on. And the moment you start to do your drills, it's an automatic thing that you're going to focus a little bit more on the rest, on that one problem thing, than you will do on the rest, because the rest goes pretty well, but there's like one small thing you have to fix, you know? And
Yeah.
that's what I'm thinking when you're pushing it to the limit is learning from those small mistakes, seeing those small mistakes. Like also something that T-Rex arm mentioned in the video was like if you're pushing yourself even when you aimed already in and you took that shot and you know from yourself like that's a bad shot and you called it, that's when you're learning from yourself. That means like you're learning how you're shooting. Because if you're like aim and you took a shot and you just know from yourself like nah, that's not a good shot, and you walk up towards your target and you already see it's not going to be a good shot, that's the moment you really start to know the basic fundamentals of your pistol or rifle, how the shooting works, how the recoil works, and those kind of stuff, you know, and how to get that dot on the same alignment every time, you know, because everybody have, like I said, is different. Some people have more horizontal, some people have more vertical recoil that they have to control, you know, everybody's different. And with gas blowbacks, you just have a minor recoil. It's not like a real gun, you know, but it's you
Right.
still have that little bit of recoil that you have. So if you just like have a gas blowback rifle and you hold it like pretty loose against the shoulder and you just pull the trigger, yeah, even that recoil just gonna send the gun pretty much a little bit everywhere. So with gas blowback rifles, you really have to like tuck it into the shoulder pretty much to get pretty much decent shots.
Right.
So that's why I love to train with my gas blowback rifles, you know. And yeah,
You
man,
know, that's
that's
something that we haven't tried yet. We've had a lot of different airsoft guns, a lot of different styles, and some
yeah,
kind of crazy. We've got some RPGs and stuff like that, but in mystery boxes. But the gas blowbacks. Now we've had electric blowbacks, but we've not got a rifle that's a gas blowback in like a mystery box. So that's
yeah.
something. We have a lot of pistols, obviously, that are like that, but the rifles we've never tried, or at least I haven't. The gas blowback, and I see them all the time. They're really popular on a lot of these guys that play over where you guys are at.
Yeah, where I'm at in Belgium, it's not really that
Well, like the
popular. 'Cause,
UK, I
like,
guess.
Yeah, the UK and the US. That's where pretty much the most
Okay.
popular. Like if you look towards the US, it's gonna be Tokyo Marui, GHK,
Yeah.
KWA, and that's what I'm running. I'm running KWAs, like US
Mm.
gas blowback rifles, made by US only, and they got the mil spec like threading, so I can put real RS like rails, stock tubes, and that kind of stuff on it. So I can
Yeah.
just switch it out with like midget mods and that kind of stuff, you know. And that's the pretty much what's nice on a gas blowback rifle is you can put almost anything RS on those rifles, and that's not always working with an AG because AG have different threads and that kind of stuff, you know.
Right.
And then, yeah, man, like if you're like a guy that really wants to train a little bit more on some shooting, you know, really have the understanding, like I would say go with gas blowback rifles. Just like Milspec Mojo is now getting more into the airsoft world.
Mm.
I don't know if you see him, like he went to Milson West, I think it
Uh-uh.
was
Yeah, I didn't see it.
earlier with Travis Haley and Jet Desert Fox and Spartan W7, something like that.
Okay.
And all those kind of famous guys, like the famous YouTubers like Jet Desert Fox, those guys. And when you see him playing in those videos, like when you see him in the Milsim, he is playing with a PTS, I think. It's like an electric, like sort of training simulation gun. So when
Okay.
you shoot the electric gun and it's empty, it really like sort of like
Mm.
blocks the ball back.
Locks back. Yeah.
But when you see his new video, when he's playing CQB, he's actually playing with a gas blowback MP7 and with a gas blowback training M4. So it's officially actually a gas blowback rifle that is made for training at home, for dry fire and
Oh,
stuff.
that's cool.
And he uses that rifle also to shoot airsoft stuff with. So it's
Yeah.
kind of nice to see those gun instructors going into the airsoft world with gas blowback rifles because it's kind of what they feel the most, you know.
Right.
And like Millspec Mojo also said in in the video, it's like gas blowback is really good for like if you're a gun guy to train at dry fire at home because you don't have to use any ammo, you don't have to click its sight, you know, you can just put on some safety glasses, get a couple of boxes, put them around the house, you know, and just get your airsoft pistol out and just shoot, you know. And it's great for home training, that kind of stuff. Like if you're not a guy that's for the winters or like the cold, rainy
Oh,
days,
right.
then an airsoft gun and training at home is pretty much something really good you can use, man. Like, yeah,
Did you
it's kind of
start
what I.
out with gas blowback rifles? Is that what you started with?
Well, no, I started with an AG, but like I didn't like, you know, like the zooming sounds around my head. Like when I
Oh,
was
yeah.
using more and more AGs, like it started going in my head. Like I'm like every time I shoot a gun, it would like go like shit, 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 shit. You know, that's what I would sound like for me in the time. You know, I was like this.
The winding gears. Yeah.
You know? And just the whining sounded so shit that it would oftenly go in my head. Like every time I'm shooting an AG, it would go like shit, 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 you know? And I was like, nah, this is not the thing for me. And then
Your
like a
gun's
buddy
talking
of
shit
mine,
to you.
yeah, dude, like for real. And then a buddy of mine had a gas blowback rifle, and I was like, let me try that shit out, you know? Like let me play around with it. And then I played one round of it, and I instantly got sold, man. I was like, yeah, this is what I need, you know? When you're in a, I had it so many times with gas blowback rifle, man, because they're so fun. Because like people don't expect it makes so much noise
Yeah.
because bolts slapping up like back and forth, and sometimes I have it when I'm coming into a room and you see a dude like so focused, lowing down like on his knees, shooting at a dude, so focused, not knowing I'm behind him. And then I just come stand right above him, you know, and start shooting my gun, and that dude goes like, "What the fuck," you know, and really gets scared, you know, like he really like shits almost in his pants. He's go like, "What the fuck's that, man? Shit, that gun is loud, man." I was like, "Yeah, it's gas blowback, man. Jesus, fuck, yeah, you know." And it's funny to have that sometimes when those people, you know, get fucking scared because you're just shooting your gun, you know.
Yeah.
It's just fun with gas blowbacks, man, because they're so loud and stuff to play with. Like one time we had like three dudes, three friend of mine, and then myself in a fucking hallway. And we're all like gas blowback rifles, and we're all shooting in that same hallway. So it sounded like a bunch of fucking real guns were going off into the hallway, like bam, 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 bam. And the other dudes on the other side were like, "No, we're not going into that hallway." Like, nope. You know, and that's the fun thing with gas blowback rifles. You know, you get that fucking that nice feeling. You know,
Oh, yeah.
and yeah, that's what I'm trying to motivate more people into buying gas blowback rifles because it's something like people are still afraid of. Because it's true, like if you don't put decent upgrades in it, the gas efficiency is not so good,
Uh,
or it has double feed malfunctions, or it's chopping BBs. But I think pretty much it comes with every box stocks, like every gun, like in a box that is new, always
right.
come with a bunch of problems unless you mod it and upgrade it towards how you want it to work. Because like I have a lot of dudes always saying like, yeah, my airsoft gun, man, my gas blowback rifle, why doesn't it not shoot as good as yours?
Mm,
Because I modded a lot. Like I do everything myself. Like I mod, I customize, and I have also my sponsor, Rep Airsoft. Shout out to Rep Airsoft.
yeah, for
So
sure.
and that's the thing, like if I want to get the barrel cut off to like from 14 and a half to 12 inch, I go towards that guy because he has all the machines, so he can cut off action. But if
Yeah,
it's like internal triggers, hop up units, that kind of stuff, I can do it all myself. That's not a
yeah.
problem. So that's what I'm pretty much doing most of the time. Like just all my friends too that have KWAs, they're always like, "Hey, I have a problem. Come fix it for me." So they always call me when they have a problem, like, "Yo, come on, come fix it for me. I can't solve it." So
Hell
I got
yeah.
to go and fix it. But I love doing it, so I have no problems with helping people out with having good gas blowback rifles.
Yeah.
And like I've been also been in a lot of discussions, man, about what is the best gas blowback rifle, what is the worst gas blowback rifle, and that's thinking in the gas blowback industry that's going to be like an internal discussion. There's never going to be an ending on that
No.
because there's always coming new products coming, and
Right.
that new product is going to be better than the older product, and it's going to be an endless discussion about that. Like but if I can say the best rifles you can now pretty much buy for gas blowback is GHK, Tokyo Marui MWS, or KWA. Those are the or PTS rifles like the PTS
Mm,
Mega Arms, the Raiden Model One.
yeah.
Those are pretty much good rifles to start with. If you want to have some good decent gas blowback rifles. So yeah, and you have a lot of types now. Like it's more and more coming back into the airsoft industry because like when I started airsoft and playing with gas blowback rifles, the fields that I play at, I just like saw none. Just me and the boys were always the guys with the gas blowback rifles.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So like in Belgium, it's not that something like that big, because also because of our shitty weather here, because like Belgium
Oh,
is a country where it's always pretty cold, so it's not
okay.
always that warm for the gas blowback rifles. Because like
Yeah.
gas blowback rifles, for a decent working and gas pressure, you need a decent weather. And
Oh, okay.
sometimes here in Belgium in the winters, it's pretty cold. So when you're really like in a gun battle and you're shooting like pretty much like 230 rounds after each other, then your nozzle is gonna freeze up and it's just
Oh,
gonna spit out gas and that kind of
right,
stuff.
right.
So,
Yeah.
so yeah, those are kind of things you have to take for accountable. Those are kind of things you have to know about the gas blowback rifles before you buy one. So that's the kind of negative ways, of gas blowback rifle. But you can also play like HPA because now you also have like HPA valves that you have to screw in the other side of the magazine. You just take the gas valve out, put the HPA
Right.
gas valve in there,
Yep.
and then you can put the magazine in, put the fucking thingy
The
on
line
that
on it.
you
Yeah.
to put
Yeah.
the line on, and you can like shoot with HPA, and then you can play in the winters without your nozzle freezing. But for me, as a gas blowback rifle player, I like to drop my magazines for a faster reload.
Right.
And when you're having that HPA and that fucking rod, yeah, you can't drop it, because
Uh-uh.
it's stuck in there. And that's kind of something that I do not like to work with. So,
Right.
but I am thinking about adding it because, like, this winter, pretty much I've been just sitting at home spending and buying Gucci shit and not playing because it's too cold for my gas blowback rifles.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Now, do
So
you
that's
have did you grow up with brothers or sisters?
I have one older sister, yeah, but they're like all against guns. Me and my dad are pretty
Oh,
much the gun nuts. Yeah,
I was
my
gonna
mom is
say, is you ever try to get her into airsoft?
nah, nah. She's like anti-gun, man. She's all about
Oh,
that like hippie life, family life.
yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, I like my mom is more like the decent way of the family, so to say. My dad is more like the loose end of the family, so to say. I'm more like my dad than I'm like my mom. So yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, that's
yeah,
funny. I grew up kind of the same way. My parents were, well, my mom was against guns, so my dad was like,
yeah.
okay, whatever. But he bought me a BB gun when I was 12. But I didn't have a lot of gun, experience or gun handling before I went in the military, And when I got out, I was like, when we have kids, man, they're going to learn how to use guns. Like it's important.
Of course. That's
Yeah,
what I think that's a big thing, like in this world. Like, if you're a gun owner or a gun dad or a gun mom, it's important to teach your children what is safe to do and what is not safe to do with a
yeah,
weapon. I think that is one of the most basic, important things you need to teach your children is when not to touch it, when to touch it, and those kind
yeah,
of things. And in these times, man, and take responsibility. Like, lock your guns up, put it in spots where your children don't know where it is. Because, like, if I can look towards the state, man, those school shootings and stuff, it all happens because of the parents not locking their guns up safe into a chamber or somewhere else
yeah,
where your kids don't know where it is. My dad put me actually in back in Aikido and Jiu-Jitsu. It's like a hand defense from knives, weapons, sticks, spears, and that kind of stuff,
yeah.
like hand-to-hand combat. And my dad put me in that kind of stuff to learn self-defense for if I get bullied in school and that kind of stuff.
Right. Good.
And what's pretty much the big thing that I learned from my dad is how to defend myself for in a responsible way.
Right.
And I think that's something like parents really needs to teach their kids too, because like
Yeah.
it's not like good to beat up a kid really bad, but if you like defend yourself in a responsible way and teach
Right.
your same manner to do that, like it's not bad to fight, but fight only for to defend yourself, that
Yeah.
kind of stuff. And that's kind of what my dad told me is like if you get bullied, like don't let them bully you, defend yourself, stand up for yourself. And if I look like towards my nephew, my little cousin, the kid of my sister, like she's so soft with him from time to time that I'm think like if he gets bullied, he's gonna be like just emotionally broken. And I'm like, make tough him up a bit. And
Yeah.
like when he's staying at my dad's house, his uncle, his gramps, and I'm fucking there over visiting him. Like I'm always like toying with him, punching him with him, making him a
Yeah.
little bit rough. And he loves that shit. Like
Yeah. How
it's
old is he?
he's now about 5 now. Is
Yeah.
turning
Oh, yeah. 5-year-old boy. Yeah. They love that. Girls
dude.
too. They love to wrestle around.
I just like the kid loves it when I'm just holding him upside down with his feet and he's just hanging upside down. The kids kind of love that stuff. And my sister, when she sees that, she's like, "Yo, put him down, and he's getting too much blood towards his head and that kind of stuff." And I'm like, "Chill out. It's like 15 seconds. He's not gonna die in 15 seconds." I think moms are just way too soft from time to times, man.
Oh, for
Like.
sure. Oh yeah, my mom
I
when I
think,
started, I was in fourth grade, and my dad took me to a. My mom was pissed. She didn't want me to start. I mean, she wasn't mad, but she didn't want me to play football. But my dad
yeah,
took me to a Boy Scout meeting, and he took me
yeah,
to a football meeting where they were, when they were just starting the season, and he said, "Which one you want to do?" And I said, "Football." So I didn't go in the Boy Scouts or not. I never did Scouts or nothing, and I played football from 4 years old. I mean, fourth grade, not 4 years old, and and I loved it. I loved it, and I played all the way through high school, and I loved the conflict. I loved the contact. And I got in a lot of fights in school as well, and I played football and wrestled. So yeah, I got in some trouble in high school. It was I think my parents were relieved when I went in the military. My mom didn't want me to go in because she was afraid of war and all that. But I think they were a little relieved to get me out of there because I said I got in a little trouble through high school and stuff like that. But I mean,
yeah.
those kind of things, like when you're growing up, being able to wrestle around, like fight, in a safe environment where you're not going to get killed when you're 9 years old.
Bro, back in the days when, like, I'm from the 90s. I'm a 90s kid. I'm 30 years old now, you know? And back when I was like 15, 14 years old, what was I doing? Climbing in trees and falling down, and my dad laughing his ass off because I
Yep.
got hurt pretty bad, you know?
Yep.
Like, legit, he was just laughing at me because I made the dumb mistake of hanging on a fucking branch that was pretty much rotten as fuck and was not able to hold my weight, you know?
Yep.
And me falling fucking almost from 2 meters, bam, to the ground. My dad was like, ha ha ha, you know?
Oh
Like,
yeah.
that's not happening anymore, you know, and that's kind of sad because like it's like they're getting wimpy, they're getting
Oh,
wussy,
for
you know.
sure. They
The
really
kids
are.
from yeah, man, like it's always about fucking politics and feelings and like I'm
Dude.
like, dude, like seriously, when I was 16 years old, I had a stick thinking it was the fucking blade of fucking King Arthur, and I was fucking running around smacking my buddies with that stick while they were fucking smacking me with a stick, you know.
Yeah.
And that was fucking the times, man. You just hurting each other, like toughing each other up, you know? Like, come
Yep.
on, man. And
Yeah, I think they,
yeah,
they go overboard with these rules and stuff. Like
yeah,
it's
man.
so maybe, you okay, so some kid gets, beat up really bad by a bully. I understand, there's extreme situations, and
Yeah, true,
that
true,
person needs to get punished. You don't need to make
true.
a law that for everybody, just punish that one person for that thing, but or anyone that does that. But like when our kids were growing up, as they got in high school, it was like my kids are adults, but they're not that that much older.
Yeah,
They're still in their 20s, and when they were going to high school, like they had a cop in the school. I didn't have that. If you
yeah,
get in a fight, you get expelled. When we got in fights in school, I remember we got me and my well, it wasn't a friend. We were friends after, but we got in
yeah,
a fight in the hallway right in front of the next class that we were going to, and the teacher came out. He was, and he grabs us both off the floor and was like, "Get your ass in the classroom." That was it. We didn't go to the principal. We didn't, you
yeah,
know what I mean? Like, and we're like straight up on the floor, punching each
yeah,
other. And he's just so it was a way different time. But
yeah.
the other thing was too is that it when somebody had a fight, it was just us two. There wasn't a five of my friends didn't join in and start kicking this dude in the head. I think you see videos like that now where they gang up on somebody and just
Yeah, but that,
go
you know, that
overboard, man. That's
that's like different, you know, like the people that really gang up on one person or
yeah,
that kind of stuff. Like I had it happen to me once with
yeah.
my ex-girlfriend, like with New Year. Her brother got in a fight and I defended her brother and I had 15 dudes punching and stamping on my face right now. Like legitimately 15 dudes. Like dude, my face was so messed up after that shit. Like you don't want to know. Like my eye was like that, my chin was like that, and the funny part is, like, I'm really a tough guy because my dad smacked me so much back in the days. So I don't go
Right.
down easily, you know? And, like, even when I was full of blood, my eye like this swollen, they like, punched me into the streets. And the moment I got to the streets, you know, I was, like, on government fucking soil. So I was like, if they punch me here, police will come straight towards here and solve this problem. So I was, like, on the end of the street, like, with an eye like that, like, come on, come at me one by one, you know? And that moment, these dudes just looked upon me and just went like, just nah. They just didn't come at me anymore just because I just said, like, come at me. I was all by myself, 15 dudes stomping on my face, you know, and fucking kicking my ass. Afterwards, also in the hospital, when we were in the hospital, the brother of actually my ex girlfriend, he was laying next to me in the hospital on a fucking couch, and he had like a little scratch underneath his eye, and he was like asking for an aspirin because it was hurting so bad. And me was like laying right next to him with my face all swollen up, blue and fucking bruised with blood. And I was like, baby, take your picture. I need to send this to my mom, you know? Like, she was like, are you serious right now? I'm like, yeah, I gotta send this to my mom. She gotta know what's up, you know? Like,
Oh my gosh.
yeah, she was, and that day she just, like, she literally told me, like, that was the day I really fell in love with you just because you were, like, such a badass, she said, you know? And yeah, man, like I got so messed up that day, man, on fucking New Year, and that's the day that I realized, man, like fighting isn't like fighting anymore, like it was back in the days. Like
Oh, right.
back in the days when I was 16, 18 years old, also, if we would get in a fight, it was just one versus one. If
Yeah.
the other one gets knocked out, I would even still help the dude get up, wake
Yep.
him up, and afterwards go like, "Yo, is this settled? Can we drink a beer?" And
Right.
then just shake hands and go drink a beer, and that was it, you know.
Yep.
And now,
100%.
yeah, now in these days, you fucking punch dude, he lays on the ground, and you turn around because you're like done with the fight, and then
Right.
out of nowhere, a fucking dude comes with a knife and stabs you in the fucking back, you know.
Yeah.
And it's just like, yeah, it escalated so much in something so worse, you know. Like the respect of a real man fight isn't there
Right.
anymore, you know.
Right. That's the big thing. I was just going to say there's not that mutual respect anymore.
No,
People don't, guys, well, just people in general, they don't have honor. Like,
no,
hey, I want to at the end of this, I still want to feel honorable and
yeah,
keep my character intact when I leave. So if I'm, beating the shit out of somebody, like, okay, I won the fight, you help them up. Like there was a fight I got into in high school. I was a senior, and same thing happened. And me and this guy, we fell down a hill. This is, it was in the winter time. It was snowy, and we wrestled around, and we were both pretty fucked up. It was a
yeah,
pretty even fight. And it right towards the end, I got the better of him, kind of like headlock or whatever. And but I let him up, and I held, and he started puking. Well, we were drunk as shit too. So
yeah.
so he starts puking. Oh yeah. So I'm like, I wait for him to get done, and I helped him to his car, and his buddy
Yeah,
was there, and I was like, and I had four friends with me, and they started talking shit to the friend that was, with this guy, and I said, no, no, man, just shut up. We're done fighting. And so his friend came over and helped me help this guy into his car and was like, hey, thanks a lot. It was
yeah.
we both felt mutual respect in the end. Uh, and that's, I think, man, that doesn't happen very often anymore, you know?
No, of course not. You know, people
Yeah.
are sort of like selfish in these times. You know, I think
Yeah.
a lot of people let their ego pass their self consciousness. I
Right.
think, man,
Right.
because like when they're looking up to other people, is like they think too highly of them towards another person,
Right.
but you don't know how that person actually is against over you, you know. Like I never, like, if I fight someone, like I'm not that type of guy that would say like, oh, I could beat his ass in an instant, you
Yeah.
know. I always stay fucking alert for my opponent because I don't know who this guy is and what this guy is
Yeah.
capable of,
Sometimes
you know.
people surprise the shit out of you, man.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, you know.
For real.
That's what I had in fights. Like, I'm not a big dude. I'm not one of the fucking most muscled guys, you know. But I had a lot of fighting experience because my dad taught me in a fucking younger age. So I
Yeah.
can literally punch you in one place and you're fucking sleeping, you know. And I had that happen so many times. Like one dude, I was in a fight. It was on a party. It was on Sunrise in Europe, Belgium, and I was with another friend. And that was the times I also did, you know, like cocaine and that kind of stuff. So I
Yeah.
had some of my times, you
Oh,
know. Everybody,
I've been there.
everybody tries out some shit, man.
I've
Everybody
been there.
tries out some shit, yeah.
Oh yeah.
So I've done some cocaine, and there was this dude, like, we were standing into a tent, you know, because it was raining, pouring rain, you know, and we were like just inside the tent, so like the rain was dropping right in front of us, and there was like a dude, like fucking almost 2 meters high, you know, pretty fucking muscle big, and he pushed us out of the tent every time.
Mm.
And yeah, me under cocaine, that kind of stuff, you know, I got a little bit aggravated and get kind of shit because I turned
Yeah.
around and I was like, "What the fuck is your problem, man?" And he was like, "There's no room, man." I was like, "Dude, there's literally like fucking still a meter between us, and I'm fucking still inside, you know? Just let me stand inside." And he was just keeping pushing me outside. But the dude was like, I had to look up to fucking towards the dude, you know? And he was like, "What are you gonna do, little man?" And I was like, "Yeah, that's something I'm not gonna accept that, you know." So my trading's perspective was like, this dude is bigger as me, so the only thing that I can do is make him small as me. So the first thing that I did was like just instantly stomp with my feet on his knee, so his knee would go backwards towards the other side, you
Yeah.
know, kick it towards the other side, and he just fell down straight to the ground with hurt on his knee, you know. And then me seeing me as a small guy just fucking stamping on his head like, you motherfucker, who you think you're talking to, you know? And my other friend like, yo, leave it, you know? And he just picked me up. He was like, yo, we gotta get out of here, man. Like, fuck this shit, you know? And I was
Yeah.
like, fucking teach him a fucking lesson. Like, you don't fucking scream on people because you think you're 2 meters fucking big and strong, you know?
Oh yeah.
Don't shit on people. And that was the first, actually, the time that I actually messed one up. And then I messed another dude after that up, but I'm not gonna talk about it because that was pretty fucking bad.
Yeah.
I also did bad shit, man. Like I
Well,
went
did you
really
learn
bad.
from it?
Yeah, of course I learned from because I almost went to fucking jail and I almost had to pay 126,000 euros for that dude. You know, because
Holy
yeah,
shit.
I
Oh, for
really messed.
medical?
Yeah, for medical and just law. You know, the fucking
Oh, legal
you
stuff,
know.
the lawyers.
Yeah, and then the fucking court, you know, the payment of the court and that kind of stuff.
Right.
So all that
Right.
together, like 162,000 euros. So that was a lot of money. And if I would have had that on my neck, I would have had to pay that, and I would have been 2 years in jail. But
Yeah.
I had a good lawyer, man. I had a really good lawyer. He just turned the fucking shit around because like he pretty much saved my ass, man. Like I'm really thankful for that guy. Like, but
That's important.
pretty much because the thing is, man, like the dude that I actually fucked up was actually teasing a friend of mine that had like growing disease.
Oh,
So he would look like a dude from 12 to 13 years old while he
right.
was like 15, like 18 till 20 years old, you know?
Yeah.
And he wasn't strong because of his medical condition, you know? He had
Right.
like weak muscles and that kind of stuff, so he couldn't defend himself pretty well. And yeah, a drunk dude then fucking start fucking annoying him, like slapping him in the head, like, oh, don't
Oh,
you have to be in bed already, you know? But me as a friend, I always protect my friends, my brothers, you know, my
yep.
my good friends. I always stand up for them, and if they cannot defend themselves, I will be that person for him to defend him, you know.
Right.
And I went up towards that person, and then yeah, from there it escalated so badly that he legitimately made me flip because my autism, I can have like a snap and it
Mm.
goes completely black into my face. And the moment it goes black, I cannot remember what I did to that person.
Mm.
My friends literally had to tell me what happened, what I did to that person, because the
Yeah.
moment it all finished, I woke up and I didn't know what happened.
Right.
And yeah, and that's the moment I pretty much fucked. Yeah, he was pretty fucked up. Like I smashed his eye cast, like it was broken all the way almost around, so his eye was almost all the way into his brain.
Yeah.
Then apparently what I did afterwards when I smacked him and when he went down, I tried to pull his arm off his body that I did not remember. So I legitimately put my foot on his shoulder and I tried to pull with my two arms, try to pull his arm off his body. So I tore his full whole shoulder like apart, like his
Yeah.
fucking ligament, everything was like
Yeah.
fully torn
Dislocated
apart.
and all that.
Yeah, it was like fully broken, like fully messed up. This dude is like legitimately he cannot work anymore now. It's like
Oh
it's that
shit.
fucked. Yeah, it was that fucked up. So I really messed that dude up, you know, and that was the time that I realized like I gotta stay out of fights because if this happens more, I can really hurt somebody, you
Yeah.
know. And that's when I really decided like I'm staying out of fights. I'm like if people have problems and like if it escalates like too much, like I'm the guy that's gonna just walk away. Like I'm
Yeah.
just
Get your
gonna
friend
try to
out of there, or you. Yeah. You
yeah,
guys
just
get out
try
of
to
there.
ignore it, you know.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to do now. So that's what like I learned from my mistake from fucking almost killing somebody. So yeah, that was pretty much for me the thing. Like Sam, you gotta stop doing this. You gotta get your
Yeah.
shit together. You gotta stop fucking getting in these situations.
It's a wake up
And
call.
yeah, wake up call, you know. And that's what I learned, man. And that's why I now focus so much on doing other things and trying to focus on thing that makes me happy and getting me in these fucking city situations, you know.
Right.
Because like I had pretty shens like pretty ass friends back in the day. Like they were so shitty, man. Like I had a drug fucking handle, you know, criminals, that kind of stuff. I had my bad fucking friends years, but it
Yeah.
also was because of the situation. My dad and my mom they split up when I was like 4 years old.
Mm.
You know, I seen them like throw plates and that kind of shit. So that
Oh yeah.
put me into a psychiatrist for children. So that
Yeah.
put me in. That's actually where my mental state really went down. Was when my parents broke up. I didn't went to school. I didn't learn to school anymore, because I was
Yeah.
that fucked because my parents broke up. And that's kind of what messed me up in the part.
Sure.
And that's when I got into like the drug world and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, from there I like it went ups and downs and ups and downs. And now I'm at a part like where I'm doing now almost 6 years airsoft. So really started actually airsoft and seriously from 18 years old, 19 years old. That was when I really started like with airsoft, and
Yeah.
it kind of got more escalated from there. But like, yeah, man, I did a lot of sports. Like I did BMX racing. I still got my trophies back there. If you can see them up
Oh,
there.
nice. Yeah.
So yeah, I got my trophies from BMX racing. I did skateboarding. I did freestyle BMX. I did a couple of fucking extreme sports. So I was always a sports guy. I always wanted to be busy,
Yeah.
with kind of stuff. Like I'm not really good with learning, teaching, that kind of stuff. Never been my thing. School never been my thing.
Now, Sam, you don't want to
Yeah,
sit down and write a sentence and figure out where all the commas go?
dude, I have so many issues with that. You don't
Come
want to know.
on. That's exciting to learn.
No, like seriously, man. Like the only thing that I regret that I didn't learn is math.
Yeah.
I hated math when I was younger. Like I hated it so much I just never put attention to it. But now that I got older, I was like, if I would have done math correctly, I would have my own business right now, and I would have scammed the fucking shitty so hard so I have extra money. Like that's what math is good for, man. Like legitimately, like school is such full of crap. They teach you things you almost never use in your daily life.
Right.
Like legit. The only thing you use in your daily life is math because
Yeah.
you always
Math is
have to,
important.
yeah, because you have to be thinking about how much money am I going to invest, pay,
Right.
taxes, that kind of stuff. And if you learn math, you can, count around
Learn how
taxes
to
and
do
that kind
that.
of stuff. So math is pretty good in school. But like back when you like God history and all those kind of things, like it's not really that important. It's somewhere important,
Yeah, I
but
was going
like
to say so they teach different stuff here in America, and I think we here in America we think like other countries have like a
yeah.
way better like school system and stuff. Like, what do you
Yeah.
guys get taught? Like, what kind of classes you guys have when you're in like high school?
We get math, we get
Hmm.
sports, so you learn to do sports and that kind of stuff. You get like drawing art classes, so you get instantly learn a little bit of art, and that kind of stuff. Then you have like it depends on what you actually want to follow. Because like if you want to follow into the wood kind of stuff, you follow wood school. So they give you classes where you get wood instructions. Then you get classes where you get concrete and stone, so you can build houses.
Oh yeah.
And then you got classes where you got can learn metal uh, workouts. So you learn how to use screwdrivers and that kind of stuff, files and that kind of stuff, how to create something out of metal. So
Hmm.
you can kind of choose what you want to follow here in Europe, what you're really excited for. But that's just like if you're doing like the beginning of school, it's just pretty much math, like sports. So you have to run and do your get your points from running and
Right.
physical tests and that kind of stuff. Then you learn your art classes, your history classes, and then your language classes. So there's pretty much when you're in Europe, there's three languages you learn, pretty much English, like I'm talking right now, and you can also learn French or Dutch, German,
Okay.
but that's in your own decisions. I never followed any three of those classes. The reason why I talk English is because I learned from video games and movies and that kind
Really?
of stuff. Yeah, I
Bro, you
legitimately
you
learned
speak
from,
like I really didn't think when you said you were where you were at. I was like, I
yeah,
don't think he grew up there because you don't have hardly any accent. Like I can
yeah.
understand you very well.
Yeah, dude, I had that so many times. Like even in the gaming industry, in the gaming world, when I played like Daisy, Daisy
Oh
because
yeah,
it's the
yep,
same like Arma, but then in the zombie
right,
apocalypse
right.
situation. I played a lot of Daisy with like guys from the States, and I had one dude in the group, and he was like, "Dude, there is no way from Belgium. You sound so American as fuck, he said. And I was like, no, man, I'm literally from Belgium, from Europe. If I would talk my own language, you wouldn't understand me. He's like,
Yeah.
no, I don't believe you. You're an American. You're not from Europe. He said. I'm like, okay, listen. So I talked into my own language towards him, speaking my own language.
Is that Dutch?
Yep. Yeah, like Dutch.
Okay.
I was like talking to him in Dutch, hey, mijn naam is Sam, ik kom van België and dit shit. So I was talking to him against my own language, and he was like, no fucking way, you know. He was like so impressed about it, you know. And he was like, even like, honey, come over here, come listen to this dude. He sounds American as fuck, doesn't he? And then his wife like, listen, talk to my wife, Sam, talk to my wife. And I'm like talking to his wife, and she's like, look, does he sound American? And I'm talking against his wife, and he's like, yeah, he really sounds American. And I'm like, I have that so many times that people tell me like, dude, you sound so American.
Yep.
It's just because like I like grew up in the gaming world just with all my pretty much American dudes, you know. I always
Yeah.
played with guys from the States or from the UK, you know. I can pretty much do a British accent. That's also that I can do, you know. So
Let's
you
hear it.
learn. Yeah. All right, mate, do you want a cup of tea maybe or a fresh cup or something like that? And if you mess with me, mate, I'll fucking mock you up, you licking mock. So, you know, I like to
That's good.
language. Yeah, you know, I like to do that kind of English, you know, and I have
Yeah.
a couple of friends from the UK, from the airsoft industry. Like, I don't know if you know the famous guy Airsoft, Nico Airsoft.
Oh yeah, I follow
From
him on Instagram.
he's also an ex military guy that went into airsoft, and then
Okay.
now a famous YouTuber, also a Twitch streamer and that kind of stuff. He
Okay.
plays like Escape from Tarkov, that kind of videos he does on Twitch and stuff. So you know, and these guys pretty much inspire me also because they're like all good vibes towards airsoft. You know, they don't see the hate
Right.
towards airsoft because like there's also been a big discussion from the gun community hating on the airsoft
Yeah, I've
community.
heard about that. I haven't experienced that personally, so I don't know what the hell is going on with that.
Me neither, but I did talk to some couple of dudes here in Europe that are military that dislike what we do in airsoft because, like, some of us take it too serious and that kind of stuff, you know. But like, if you're looking at like milsim events, like, why wouldn't you take that serious? It's almost the same as the real deal, only you're
Yeah.
shooting with BBs, you know. And
Yeah.
I think the big hate on that is that some of them, like, I literally had one of those situations when at my home fields in Malle here in Belgium where I was playing, and that was when I was, I think, 24 years old. I was 24 to 25 years old, and that was kind of when I was really into airsoft. That was my speed soft time, you know.
Hmm.
And I was playing very aggressive with a friend of mine, and we had like five dudes from the Belgium fucking army. They went in there, and they were like, you know, all big dog, big man, you know, all like things. And the funny thing is, like, I like asked one of the fucking locals there, the bosses. I like, are they guys from the army? And they were like, yeah, they're from the army. You know, like, all right, this is gonna be a tough fight then. You know, and it didn't take me about 5 minutes to push those five guys in the corner, and I pissed them off so bad that they were starting to shoot full auto at me inside CQB while it was only single shot, you know,
Yeah.
and got so pissed off that they were pushed in the corner by a civilian player, pushed in the corner, and they got so mad they were starting to shoot full auto at me, and it was so funny, you know, because I was like, you come in here and talk so big of yourself that you're a soldier and that kind of stuff, and you just got pushed in the corner, five guys against one guy, and you five guys get pushed in the corner by one guy, and you can't even fucking win. And like, are you serious? You know? And that's when I really got to the point. Like, I think a lot of guys like also join in the military, just do it just for the uniforms and to show
Yeah.
big, are not really big at all, you know.
Yeah.
And man,
I met a lot of guys like that.
yeah, dude, like I like because like I have legitimately a lot of friends like Lefty, one of my Instagram followers, also is also an airsofter. He has a YouTube channel and he's in the army also. And
Oh, okay.
always says to me like, man, how come you're not in the army, man? You just you're so fast and you know everything. And like, yeah, just because of my mental state, man, just because
Yeah.
Belgium army don't want to let me in with my mental state. And he was like, I just can't understand that. He said, like, you're so good, he says. And like, yeah, I can't understand it either, man. It's just their egos. They just don't want to let me in until the fucking world gets fucked up, and then they want to let me in, you know? And he's like, yeah, man, it's like facts, you know? And like, he says, like, I would rather trust my life, he said, with guys like you that are
Yeah.
mentally insane in the head but know what they're doing than a guy that's mentally good but is scared as fuck when he gets to the war zone, you know?
Yeah.
And I see a lot of guys like sometimes like talking that kind of big, like if I was in the army and that kind of stuff, and pretty much when they get into the real situation, they're pretty much fucking pissing their pants, you know,
Yeah.
those kind of guys, and you see that a lot, you know, guys just fucking running the outfits and talking big shit, but actually are not that big of a deal.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you
Yeah,
have
man.
that in any anything really with
Yeah, real.
but yeah, it does happen more often with military
Yeah,
guys, especially now, man. Like when I was in, there wasn't a whole lot of that. Like it was, you had one or two here and there that would talk some all kind of shit, but they it wasn't that often. And now, like I go to when if I work with somewhere, somebody else, or I go to different job sites or whatever, you always have that guy that's like, oh yeah, I'm an army veteran, talks this and this and this, and I'm like, bro, why are you telling, like, you're talking like you're still in? It was fucking 20 years ago. Okay. I mean, it's
yeah.
fun to talk, tell stories. I understand it, but he's talking like, man, I used to be so hardcore. I was, I'm like, bro, if you got to tell somebody how hardcore you are, you ain't fucking hardcore. Okay.
No, no, for real. So,
You know,
yeah, that's,
like,
that's just the truth, man. Like my dad, like he never talks about his shit, and that's how I know my dad's a fucking
yeah,
hardcore dude. He just does not want to talk about it because he's fucking seen shit that he does not want to talk about, you
well,
know.
sure.
And those are the the persons because I think like they have a burden that they carry with them that I think not a lot of people understand,
Yeah.
and they all just think like he's fucking crazy in his mind or that's something, but people do not understand that man has seen things that other people would kill themselves if they would have seen that shit, you know.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then
That's,
that's why I keep appreciating army guys that are literally coming from a world of fucking hell and
yeah.
then come back home and are like depressed and that kind of stuff. When I see like if I ever have a friend that comes from fucking a war zone and I see him depressed, man, I would give him full attention because I do not want that dude to kill himself because he's seen
Right.
shit that he cannot put away. Because there's a lot of guys that fucking eat themselves up with seeing shit and they cannot work that out, you know. And the big problem also is like I'm really seeing that in the States now. I don't know if it's changed now, and I really learned. I don't know if you've seen the episode of SEAL Team.
No, I haven't seen it.
Dude, you really gotta watch it. It goes from the Navy SEALs, but it really puts a view on how the American Army works, you know? Like how
Mm-hmm.
the whole Navy works, the Marines, the Army.
Yeah.
And they explain that people when you have like mental problems that came from the war zone fields, like from frag grenades and that kind of stuff, you get
Yeah.
concussion, and not a lot of marines veterans that came from that world get assistance and help in that kind of way.
Yeah.
That's something they really have to add in your country, because like here in Belgium, if you came from a war zone and you seen some shit, you legitimately get help from the government to see a psychiatrist that helps you reshape the view that you put in your mind to clear
Yeah.
that out and get further with your life so you can keep moving without living with all those regrets. And I think that's something they really have to add into the states, because you see a lot of veterans in the states that are homeless and that kind of stuff, and
Yeah.
that kind of hurts me, man. It's seeing shit like that hurts me. Like that dude has fought his life for you people, and he's given his fucking respect and his honor to defend you people, and now you leave him on the streets like he's a dirty dog, you know.
Yeah.
And that's hard for me to see, man. Like if I see shit like
I
that,
think
that really breaks me, you know.
I think there's a lot of programs available. It's probably not the best, like the VA thing, the Veteran Affairs
Yeah,
thing that we deal with. But when I first got out, I had very little experience with it, with going
yeah,
to like those kind of support programs, of which
yeah,
with whatever it was, I didn't like it. Uh,
yeah.
I don't, and I think a lot of guys are in my situation where, as far as that kind of stuff goes, like they don't, when you get out of the military, we don't ask for help. Like I spent my 4 years in, I had enough of the government.
Cannot forget that it's never wrong to ask for help if you need it. And a lot of Marines now in this time ignore that and actually push themselves in a worse state than they already are.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
And
There's definitely times, somebody needs,
and
we all do.
I'd say as Marine friends under each other, veterans, that you would support each other more if you see somebody that's having it real tougher than you have, to really support that dude, to say like, hey, it's not wrong to ask for help. We are
Right.
self-afflictioned, but we're still human being, you know?
Sure. Oh, yeah.
And that's what a lot of guys forget and then get into the worst situations you can possibly
Yeah.
think of.
Sure.
And that's different here in Europe. Is the moment we see something like that with our military people, we really push them towards
Oh,
getting
okay.
out.
I
And that's
got you.
something yeah, that's something we really do here. Is like we want to like the best health for our soldiers because they give the best things to defend our country. You know,
Right.
they offer our lives. So by offering their lives, we have to support them with the help afterwards that what we can give them with, you know,
Yeah.
and something I think the states also have to do a little bit more, man. Like get more focused on those guys that really need the help to convince them that it's okay to ask for help when you need the help, you know,
Yeah. Yeah,
because
that's a
like
tough thing. I mean, well, you did it, you changed.
yeah,
There has to be a balance with the system, right? The government assistance kind of, system where provides services, and the people that are like, okay, uh, I guess I need help right now, so, and everyone is different. Everyone has to go through their own kind of, hit and bottom, I guess. And,
yeah, man, everybody has to
yeah, and
battle.
then hey, I got to ask for help. When you were talking about your situation with, where you hurt this guy pretty bad,
Yeah,
you obviously, you felt bad about it. You changed, and and now you've made a positive. Like you're doing something positive with your life. With Airsoft, with all your training videos, you're focused on that and
yeah, of
turned it around, and you're helping your fellow airsofters on the field. You're making
course,
friends.
man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a good thing.
yeah. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, if you're really in a bad situation, but I'm not gonna lie, I had a lot of good friends helping me out with a lot of
Yeah,
stuff.
right.
You know, because like I had a really bad time, and I didn't have a lot of friends because I was pretty much a fucked up person.
Yeah,
And I'm gonna be fully honest, but I was not back in the younger days. I was not an enjoyable person. I was pretty much a fucking dickhead. You know,
yeah.
like legitimate dickhead. And
I've been there too.
yeah, I had some good fucking friends just staying with me, you know, just they just saw the good somewhere in me and they never gave up on that, you know, just because they understand from what situation I came from, you know, and they just always said to me like, dude, it's not you, it's your situation that's now taking control of you, but it's not the official you, you know. There's
Yeah,
something better in you, you just don't see it yet. And that's what really opened my eyes is when my friends, you know, because I had a really good friend that was actually like more of a second dad for me.
mm,
And that's the day that actually really opened my eyes is when he got shot also for by a cocaine user.
mm.
And he got shot just because of the fucking discussion of words. And some really bad words came across each other, and the other dude went away. He came back with a gun. He tried to shoot someone else, but my best friend, like my second dad, he threw a bottle at him, and
Mm.
that bottle missed him, just passed next to his head, so he shot him right in the stomach. And then he went fall down, and then he went straight towards him, towards the back of the head, and then shot him at the back of the head.
Oh shit.
And yeah, dude, like I fucking been through some shit, you know, and the moment they called me at that time, like I wouldn't believe it. Like there was no way because like he was always so protective, so honest, so good to everybody. I was like, I couldn't believe somebody would hurt that guy, like for
Yeah.
real. He was always so nice to everybody. And I just fucking like I was a couple of fucking bars farther, you know, like he was
Mm.
like literally at the end of the street, the other bar, and he called me, said like, man, they shot France, man, they shot France. I was like, you're bullshitting, bro. It's not like legitimate. They shot France, and I hear like fucking sirens at the back of the telephone. I was like, fuck, you know. It's like, where you at? Yeah, we're literally at the other side of the fucking street. So I just ran towards the street, and the moment I came there, man, I see him fucking laying there on the ground with a fucking puddle of blood, you know, and just seeing that just fucked me, that broke me so bad in a way, you know, just thinking about to myself, like, why does the fucking this have to happen to me, you know, like the
Yeah.
only person I literally trust and I fucking gave my life to by trusting he would fucking put me in the right direction because like in that time, like he was putting me in the right direction. I was using a lot of cocaine, so he kind of
Yeah.
got me off the cocaine and put me on the marijuana because that one I'm pretty much smoking right now.
Yeah.
So he got me on the marijuana, and he said like just do this, you know, it doesn't fuck up your body as more as cocaine does and that kind of stuff, you know. So he got
Right.
me off that shit. So he pretty much saved my life, so to say.
Yeah.
So if he didn't do that, I would be pretty much a junkie now. You never know, you know.
Yeah.
And he pretty much saved my life, so I respected that man with my full life. Like I would have literally gave my life to fucking save that man's life, you know. And it just at that moment it broke me so bad, man. I just fucking haunted that dude for 3 days. Like I didn't sleep for fucking 3 days. I
I'll
didn't
bet.
eat for 3 days. Yeah, I just fucking went walking around the whole fucking city trying to find that dude for 3 days long. 2 nights, 3 days. I've been
Mm.
trying to looking for that dude. I didn't want to sleep. I just want to have him in my hands so I can kill him with my own fucking bare hands, you know. And yeah, man, just and at that moment when that happened and I lost pretty much the onlyest man I pretty much trust the most in my life, that's where I had something like, oh my, Sam, you're pretty much now all by your fucking self, and now you have to
Yeah.
fucking figure some shit out, or it's gonna go really bad with you, you know? And that's when I tried slowly figuring out what I needed to do, what I liked the most in my life, you know, what I appreciated about life. And I started to look up more towards that kind of stuff, you know, start reading some books about mental health, you know, how to talk to other human beings, you know,
Okay.
mental, physical shit and that kind of stuff, business stuff, you know, like business books. So I tried to read some more into that, and just the more I read it, those books on how people actually because like a lot of those books you read from other people, they also had a rough life and they
Right.
actually also reprogrammed their life into a better life. And by reading those books, a lot of like lights got popping into my head, and that's when I said like to myself, like I'm just gonna keep the people that are most important to me, and I'm just gonna keep them in a tight bowl, you know, just a hand circle full, and keep them in a tight bowl, and I'm just gonna focus around that, and that's what I've been doing now for the last 8 years now, and since
Mm.
those last 8 years, I've been just been growing and growing and growing, man. It's like
Yeah.
everything's been going good now. So I'm learned a lot from my mistakes that I made, and I'm pretty much happy, man, that I actually got onto the right path, so to say.
Yeah. It sounds like you are, being grateful and being thankful for some of the things in your life
Yes, hundred
really
percent.
helped. Really
Yeah,
helped. Yeah, and that's really what helped me as well. When I started reading those same kind of books and listening to some of these guys like Tony Robbins, I started listening to him when he back in the '90s when I first got out of the military. Having a purpose in life and being grateful and
yeah,
thankful for the good things
100%.
in life because I can be kind of a serious person, like my normal personality. I'm more on the serious side, and
Yeah,
kind of critical. So I look at the negative stuff,
yeah,
and I had to learn, like, hey, life is not all negative. There's not always bad people. There's not always bad situations. We can kind of help by being, having a purpose and being grateful and thankful. We can help that our environment around us. We kind of attract different people and hang out with better
Of
people. And then when you put your time into someone else, now we had kids, so I put my time into my kids and my wife. So it was, that was my focus at the time, you know. Luckily it turned out good. None of my kids are too fucked up, but, the, yeah, that was that. It's a huge deal, man. So many people, don't understand how powerful being thankful for things in your
Yeah,
life really is. It's very
that,
important.
that's the thing that I still want to say to you and to all the people that are gonna watch this afterwards is like, I think you becoming a grown up is actually learning to accept to see the small positive things from the bad things that you have through the
Yeah.
day, you know, just learning to accept those small things. Like if you're having a bad day at work, just accepting that after work you're gonna sit at your home having a nice meal, having some rest, and then waking back up the next day if God allows you to wake up the next day. Because that's what people don't realize is like tomorrow could be the last day you wake up, or
It's not guaranteed.
it's not guaranteed. So
Hmm.
I always say you have to live the life like there is no tomorrow, you
Yeah.
know? And that's what I try to see more in my head, that I said to myself, like, man, you don't realize if you're gonna be there tomorrow or not, if God decides, or whatever, who it is that's up there controlling this world, if he
Right.
decides to say, like, I'm gonna take your life the next morning, and he does that, and you don't wake up anymore, yeah, you don't wake up anymore. There is no decision to say, like, I'm gonna wake up after he says I'm gonna die. There is no way, you know? So I always say, like, you got to live your life like there is no tomorrow. Like
Yeah.
if you realize that in your mind, that there could be no tomorrow, then I think every day you wake up is a blessing, that you can live one more day for the rest of your life. Then you have to realize that the next morning you're not going to wake up and you had a life of shit behind you, you know? Because
Right.
as long as you wake up, you get a new chance to rebuild yourself into something better that you think you already are.
Right.
And that's, I think, that most people have to think about, man. These times is just appreciate the little things and just think about what you're really good at. It's also what I did. Like I had so many things like that I'm not good at, like math and that kind of stuff. So you never
Yeah.
would see me do things behind a computer with codings and that kind of stuff. And that's when I realized, like, I'm good with guns. I can shoot fast. I can
Right.
reload. So I'm gonna do something with guns, you know. And I think more people have to think more prospectively in that way, like, what am I really good at, what do I like to do, you know? And I think people just have to follow what they love. Same with parenting, man. Like if I have children in my life, I would never tell my kids what they need to do. I would like love to like experience what they want to do. Like if they
Right.
want to do that one week and then the other thing the other week, I'll just let them do it, and I will
Right.
support them 100%, you know. And I will like teach them, like, if they do something wrong, that it's okay to do something wrong, you know, because that's where you learn from.
That's how
And
you
then
learn.
just, yeah, you know, just show them the way that it's fine to experience different things. Even if you fail, it's not really a failure, because in that period of
Yeah.
time you learn some things that you didn't know about. So it's not actually failing, because you still learn some stuff, you know.
Oh yeah, that's yeah. Failing is how you learn. Like, quitting is the bad thing. Failing is important in the learning process. And as,
Exactly.
parents, you hopefully, like, I mean, we're not the best parents in the world, but, our goal was always to have our kids have a very broad experience, like try a bunch of different things. Like,
Of course.
you don't know what you like, oh, what is your favorite this, people ask that all the time. You're like, I don't know, but I know what I don't like, right? We're wired that way. Our brains are wired to know, kind of like, okay, I stay away from this, stay away from that. I like these things, but I don't have one single thing that's like the best ever. But you
Indeed.
got to have your kids try all this different stuff. Like, try green beans. I don't like green beans. Well, you didn't try them. Try them. Oh, okay,
Yeah.
I don't like them. Okay, well, don't try them again. Okay. Yeah.
And I think that's the same with growing up. I think we as grown up people forget about how living actually is. Because like when you're a kid, you don't really think about what you're doing the next day. You're just living your life and just learning through the process, you know.
Right.
And I think by getting older every day, like we are getting older every day, is
Damn it.
that we forget to actually accept the learning progress of life.
Yeah.
We as grown-ups are more focused at the negative things that happen in through our day than we are focused what we actually learn through the day.
Sure.
As we actually, like, what I'm saying is we grown-ups have to be more like kids through the day, you know,
Yeah.
just make the best of it what you can through the day just by laughing, you know, even if you have to do something stupid to make yourself laugh, and then do that stupid thing to make your
Yep.
laugh again, you know. And I think that's something that we grown-ups really forget, you know, and that's what I like to see in the airsoft community. Because when we all come together at one big fucking field, we're all just a bunch of big baby kids with guns, you know. That's how it is.
Oh
That's just
yeah.
how it is, you know.
You're
We're
like,
all big
man,
fucking
look at all this badass, fucking
yeah,
badass military gear I got on, and then you go out and like, beep, 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 beep,
yeah, you
beep.
know. You're just like big kids
Oh
with
yeah.
big toy guns, man. Like
Yeah.
that's the thing, you know. And I think that's what we need to look at more as a human being, as the human world, is that we need to accept more of the day that we actually do, and need to appreciate the small things that we do from that day.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah, man. I just have it so many, like I met a lot of people. I had a lot of friends like always coming to visit and talk always about the negative stuff, you know? And then
Right.
I'm always like, yeah, but what did you do fun through the day, you know?
Right.
Like what did you do exciting? What exciting stuff, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you just, you know, and then just talking about that stuff with those people puts them back in that positive vibe, because, you know, because you brighten their mind again. And
Yeah.
that's what I'm all about. I'm all about like, be happy, man. Just even when you get a worse day, think about the small, happy, fucking stupid shit that you've seen through the day. Just think about it this way: if you're having a bad day and you recognize the dude maybe on a bicycle that was pushing through the wind, making a funny face, just think about that funny face, and it makes your whole day again. You
Oh
know?
yeah.
Because like you said, you had a bad day, but this man is fucking with a bicycle through the wind with maybe
Yeah.
150 miles per hour in his face, going like you know. And you say you have a bad day, like come on, you
Oh
know.
yeah.
Yeah, I think more people have to think in that way because that keeps you more in a positive direction, you know.
Sure.
If you think about like how many more people are actually having it worse than you do,
Yeah.
because a lot of people are like, yeah, but my life is like this and like that, and I'm like, dude, there are children in Africa that make
Yeah.
their own toys from garbage and they play around with it like the happiest thing
Like
they
it's
ever
the
owned in
yeah,
their
it's the
life,
best.
you
Yeah.
know. And it's the best thing, and you have a roof above your head, money to buy expensive toys, and you're complaining
I
like
read
that.
this book years ago when I was reading I've read a couple hundred books in the
Mhm.
last 10, 15 years about like self-help. I guess they're considered self-help, and then, business books, whatever, some of them, a lot of people have heard of, but this one was, and there's a handful of them that really stood out, but one of them is just about that, where
Yeah,
it was written by Marcy Shimoff. It's called Happy for No Reason. And
yeah,
she talked about, she traveled the world. She was really interested in finding out what made people happy, because like, you all have that saying that, money doesn't bring happiness, whatever.
of
And,
course not.
and all these kind of sayings, when we were growing up. And she was like, well, what does make people happy then? So she went to India, she went to Tibet, she went to all these different countries to find out, and studied all these different like cultures and societies. What was the one thing that made people happy, and it's not one thing, it's like but it kind of breaks down to our attitudes. Like, how grateful are you for your specific situation, the good
Yeah,
things in your life, and how you can make that a positive? Because you can't choose your parents. You can't choose where you're born. You can't choose
of
what you're born into.
course.
Hopefully you're in a position where you can, if it's really bad, that you can get yourself out of that. and not let your past dictate your future, with the negative shit. But it's a really fascinating book, talking about being grateful for the little things, and how to be happy where uh, on the basics of life. And that's why when you were talking early on, telling your story about kind of what you were involved in and stuff, and now you're not, and you feel a lot better about yourself. You're on you have a purpose that you're excited about. You have a passion that you're excited about with this airsoft stuff, and your videos you're doing are very helpful. And I'm proud of you,
Thank
man.
you.
That's really
Thank you.
cool. Yeah, for
That
real.
really makes a smile on my face, man. That's what I'm doing it for, you know.
Yep.
Because I had
Well,
a
keep
couple of
doing
guys.
it.
Yeah, because I have like one girl out of Mexico, and she's like my number top one fan. She loves my posts. She always reposts. She always says good morning, that kind of stuff. You
Yeah.
know, and I'm all for the culture. Same like Demo from SYG. He also does it for the culture, man. Like he's pretty
Right.
much like one of the guys I look up to because like he does it all for the culture. You know, he wants the new kids to get in there. He wants more of the community of the people to understand airsoft. You know, now he wants. I think he's somewhere. He's trying to get now something together that has to do with gaming. And it's like airsoft gamers, so gamers that airsoft in their
Right.
free time. So he wants to start a competition of gamers actually first starting to battle on each other on the console.
Oh
So
yeah.
on PC, you know, like battle it out, and then like the finals, they have to like battle it out in the airsoft field, you know. And like the
Oh,
thing
that's
he
cool.
has been trying to create is so fucking good for the airsoft culture to like make it bigger, you know.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate also what he's doing, man. Like big shout out to SYG Demo, man. He's like really doing the good stuff out there, you know. And those kind of people inspire me to uh teach them the things that I know about airsoft that I can freely give away because there's not a lot of good guys that do that out there because like they want to keep their skills and their ego for themselves, you know.
Yeah.
But everybody who comes to the airsoft, I want them to have fun, you know,
Right.
and 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 that's why I'm always trying now to teach the people the basic skills you can teach yourself at home and try and practice them for if you go and play to a field, you can try and add those tactics and see if they really work and make a difference in your airsoft gameplay. So yeah, I just love doing this. I always keep good comments coming. So I'm just gonna keep doing this, man. I just love doing this. So
I'm
and I
glad.
also been thinking about because I have some couple of good friends like they do also business world and one of my friends doing now selling pure ice like papers and tips for wheat and that kind of stuff
Yeah.
and he has a brother that actually does video shooting for video edits for rappers and that kind of stuff and he's really good with cameras
Okay.
and he also told me like yeah we want to help you out you know so I've been thinking about also starting my YouTube channel but like pure with shooting tips reloading tips you know
Right.
moving drills that kind of stuff and that's what I kind of get into because like I made a video earlier also somewhere on my Instagram that has like a small YouTube video, small parts that I'm shooting one of my I guess blowback rifles, and I also posted in there like how many of you people would like it that I would make a YouTube channel, and I had a couple of guys man like saying like that would be awesome, I want to see you, you know. So I've been thinking about doing a YouTube channel, but it is a lot of work though, because you have to go to a lot of fields, shoot a lot of video clips, you know, do a lot of editing.
Yeah.
So that kind of stuff. And I also been trying to work my own designs, you know, because my Instagram name is Baba Tactics. And as you know, Baba Yaga is the witch, you know,
Right.
the witch, the kidnapper, so to say.
Yep.
And I've been trying to make my own designs for the Baba Yaga logos for Baba Tactics.
Yeah.
So I have some like he also works with Project Manticore, one of my friends, and now we do the Project Manticore EU. But the guy from Project Manticore is actually from the States. He makes awesome patches, and I made a nice offer with him to create my own custom patches. And my first design is being drawn this weekend. So his designer is
Okay.
working on it right now this weekend. So
Nice.
when it's done, he's gonna text me, and then when it's finished, and if it's okay, then I'm gonna pay him, and I'm gonna print some patches from Baba Tactics, and they're
Nice.
gonna be some patches. I'm gonna print about 100 patches, I think, and they're gonna be like shared like 50-50. And they're probably gonna be like a Baba Yaga in with a ghillie suit with a Mark 18, leaning on a Mark 18, and it's actually gonna be the Baba first Baba Tactics, the ghillie mission patch, and it's actually in two colors. So one's gonna come in black with green, with a
Mm,
green ghillie suit, and the other one's gonna come in black with a brown ghillie suit. So you have the two choices if you want to buy the green
that
one
sounds cool.
or so yeah, when they come out, I will for sure post it on my Instagram. If you're
Yeah.
interested in one,
Well,
you
I
can
was to
buy
say,
one.
we'll we should do another one. Another of these podcasts, like in a few weeks, or
Yeah, man, sure.
after you get that figured out. In fact, I was going to say, if you didn't have somebody working on your logo, whatever design, one of the guys I just talked to, that's what
Yeah,
he does. He helps people come up with logos and stuff. So you'll have to, you'll see him on our, well, he's actually on our Discord as well.
yeah.
Admin Airsoft is what it is. And so, yeah, he's a graphic designer, and he helps people come up with logos and designs and stuff like that. But
That's
yeah,
good.
man, after you get that kind of stuff set up, we'll have to do another one so you can show off your patch.
Yeah, man, for real, man, for
That'd
real.
be cool.
Because that's the thing. Like, I want to start with my patches, and actually, towards the future, I want to like make the brand bigger. Of course, Baba
Right.
Tactics. So I'm starting to make those designs in patches first. But when these designs are made, I also get the print. They're officially my designs then, and I'm gonna keep these designs for further in the future. Like, if these patches would sell good, I'm having the idea to make my own like T-shirt and shirt brand and like hoodies and that kind of stuff with the Baba Tech logos and shit printed onto the shirts and hoodies and that kind of stuff. So I got big plans up for in the future. Like, I got good things going on up in here, trying to figure it out with all the people that I know right now.
Yeah.
So, but that's the thing that I still want to do. Like because here in Belgium, starting a business here is like way more expensive than you would start it in the States. Like
Okay.
the guys I talked to with the that are doing my patches, they said like you can easily start a business in the States for $200. And I was like, really, man? He was like, yeah, I'm not joking. You can literally
Oh
start a
yeah.
business for $200. I said, like, if you want to start a business in Europe, Belgium, you have to pay between 5,000 and 10,000 euros. And you have to
Bro.
pay, yeah, no, I'm not shitting. To
Whew.
start an online business, you have to start between the 5,000 and the 10,000 euros. Plus, even the first month you make money, you already have to pay taxes
Yeah. Yeah,
in the state.
that's not how we work.
No, no, dude. Like that's what
Uh-uh.
I hate about Belgium. That's why I kind of want to move out of here and move towards the states. You know
Yeah.
why?
Yeah,
So,
dude.
so that's why I'm trying to make my connections as more as possible in towards to the states, so I can have when I make the decision, like I'm just gonna move out and I'm just gonna go towards the
Right.
states and try and get myself settled there because my English is pretty good. I just have to like go to a school to learn all the cultures, all the rules, all the
Yeah.
presidents, and all that kind of stuff. Because I know you have to do that when you move into the states. You have to take an exam because you got 2 years, I think. You have to like live in the states, do exam schoolings, and then after the 2 years, you have to do an exam to be like a legitimate, uh, like living being in the states. Like you
Yeah,
get your
citizen.
official papers to live in the
Yeah.
states. Yeah, and that's the thing I kind of want to work towards. So, because
That's
I
good.
just, yeah, man, I just love the states. It's something like that country is for me just my dream country, man. Like for real.
I'm so
Like,
glad.
it's like weird to say, man. Like if I'm here in Europe and trying to bond with people from my own country, is so fucking difficult here because people here are so selfish from time to time and so frustrating.
Yeah.
And when I talk with people from the States, you people are like all so open towards new things and ideas and it's just a whole different fucking mindset, man. It's
That's really
just
good to hear. Yeah.
yeah, man. Yeah. Like there's a lot of people that talk negative about states, and there are a lot of negative things
Oh,
about
sure.
states. But I think
Yeah.
that's every country. In every
Yep.
country, you have positive and negative things, and you just have to learn to deal with it. If you're trying to be a businessman, I think the best fucking place you can be is be in the States, man.
Oh
You
yeah.
know, because I learned from those guys from Project Mandicore. They told me like you only have to pay taxes when you make a lot of money here. I was like, "Are you for real?" Like, yeah, if you really make a lot of money, then you have to pay taxes. He said. I'm like, "What the fuck am I still doing in Belgium?" You know? I was like, "God damn," you know?
Yeah, if you own your own business, you we call them write-offs, so you can write things off. So if you know, if like my computer, this room, like the way our
Yeah,
tax thing works, I can take out all this, how much this is worth out of my income, so that I don't have to pay taxes on it because it helped run this business or whatever, and your
yeah.
car, that kind of thing, a bunch of different things. But yeah, you have the opportunity to kind
That's
of
amazing.
yeah, and that's yeah, it's set up to help a business get on its feet when it's starting out. So
Oh,
to be successful. So that's a good thing.
that,
But
that,
man,
that's
listen,
amazing.
it has been really good to meet you and awesome to
Yeah,
talk with you. I'm really glad we got to talk.
man, for real. Yep, me too, man. It was very fun. I had a great night. For me, it's
Awesome.
night. Yeah, so
Right.
I hope we get to meet the next time since I got some more news about my patches and stuff.
Absolutely. Yeah, I look
So,
forward to it.
yeah, man, we will talk again.
Thank you so much, man. Where can people find you on Instagram?
They can find me on Instagram on Sam_Segers or Baba_Tactics.
Awesome.
All
All right,
right,
brother.
man.
Have a good night.
Peace out.